new gems. There we go. And also the rework gems. So let's see. First we got Ice Spear. 369, 553 at 20. 40% projectile speed, looks to be the 20% quality there. Fires an additional projectile, that's cool. So what we saw in the video is it shoots out and then shoots multiple projectiles in to whatever the target is in the second phase. Second form, which moves much faster. So is this two shards? So launches shards of ice in rapid succession after traveling a short distance. Okay. So how many ever shards, I'm guessing, is the new increased critical strike chance, the critical strike multiplier at 49%, and 30% more projectile speed. So if they each have 553 damage, and there's like a bunch, like it looked like 4 to 5 in the video, I think. Yeah, that's pretty big. Yeah, that's huge. That's pretty nutty. Because before we've had same 600%, okay. Unless this is the up, no, okay. Yeah, okay, that's 600%, that's what it already had. Okay, so still, Ice Spear, that's just one hit with the 822. So if you have multiple hits at 500, that's pretty obscene. That means one shot, if you get the stage 2 off, is either probably, let's just say if it's 3, that's 1500, or 5, that's 2500. That's a little absurd. That's pretty cool. I might be looking at that one for League Starter. Okay, next Arctic Breath, which is the other one that I was considering for maybe a League Starter. 275 to 413, with the dot damage it leaves being 1089. It's pretty juicy amount of dot damage. With all the more multipliers they were getting, maybe doing an occultist. That's something to think about. Should be able to plug that in if it's not already in Path of Building, because Path of Building got updated early today. So with the new skill tree, so that's hopefully these go in either early tomorrow, because yeah, so far both of these look good. Because before though, just the base hit, let's look at that, was 913. Okay, so mainly hit's not the big deal here, but the dot is going to be the big deal. Now the hits will overlap on, say, a wall, kind of like Fireball, or when you hit a pack of enemies if you use multiple projectiles. So I wonder how much. The big question is how much of the cold damage is going to be on the items. I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to look and find out. Winter Orb. Okay, so here we go. We saw that it would shoot out multiple. So they're 0.4 seconds to base duration per stage. Fires projectiles every 0.8 seconds. Okay, so it's just the frequency of the projectiles. Increased projectile frequency per stage. Maximum 10 stages. Okay, that's pretty cool. So at 322 for 0.8 seconds. And per stage, so that's 4 seconds. So if you charge it to max, so for 4 seconds you get plus 15%. What is that? That's 150. Whoops, 150. So 0.8. So it'd be 0.2. Yeah, if it's that, it's 5. So you get 5 a second, 4 seconds, 20 shots. So let's see, if you get 5 a second, that's 1500 cold damage. As far as just per second shot, it's not too bad. Now, cast speed should be, you speeds up the channeling, so cast speed's the 10%. Also, what was the 20% quality on this? Area of effect? Awesome. Okay. Let's see, Ice Nova. 930 cold damage. Plus 4 radius, increase area is the 10% quality. Okay, when cast on a Frostbolt, less area. This is in the patch notes. And then up to 2. Adds 97 to 141 cold damage against shield enemies. Okay, cool. So that's over 1,071. See, what was it before in 715? And it did more damage when cast on Frostbolt. Oops. So now you can, it should be enough now to be used as its own skill or used with Frostbolt. I'd be curious to, because next is Vortex, to see how good of a combination you could use with those using Frostbolt as well. That sounds like a very fun active playstyle. Okay, let's see what do we got here. Vortex. 808 on the base, 1495 damage per second. What is the 10%? 20 less area of effect? No, 10% increased area of effect again. There we go. Okay, less area when cast on Frostbolt, up to 5, and 76% increased cooldown recovery speed. So let's see. Modifies to spell damage, apply to the skill's damage over time. Okay, that's nice. I think that was the same before. Let's see, how did we improve? So dot was only 684. Yeah, that's nice. $688. Okay, yeah, that's pretty nice overall. Okay, now let's get into the new stuff. Actually, real quick, I think Tectonic Slam. Here we go. So the question here with this one was, what is the percentage of the chance to consume an endurance charge, giving you that 60% more? Yeah, right here. So 40% chance of Tectonic Slam. In the patch notes it said it would be half of that enchant percentage. So 20%. That gives us a total, that gives us a total of 55% to consume an endurance charge. So roughly every other hit. So now with that, I think it would be better to use multi-strike when you have the 55%. That way you get the 60 more percent damage per chance you strike. It should be how it works. So since it tries to consume one on each, yeah, maybe run multi-strike with this now. I kind of liked that it was better to not run multi-strike with it before, because you would just consume 3 charges in one swing. But I don't know, we'll see. We'll have to try that one. Really is going to be the best way to test it out. So I might hop on my jug when this goes live just to see how it works. Okay, let's get looking at the numbers for the brands, because those look kind of interesting to play, especially with all the stuff they've added to the tree. Okay, so periodically activates while attached, fires beams that deal to nearby targets. So this deals 97 to 290 lightning damage. Increases and reductions to cast speed also apply to the skill's activation frequency, and activates every 0.5 seconds while attached. Okay. Gains increased attack speed for the 20%. Can be attached for a total duration of 5 seconds. Can be detached for a total duration of 10 seconds. Okay. So you got 10 seconds to call it for it to attach, and it lasts 5 seconds on an enemy, so 2 times a second is what its starting hit rate is. It's not bad. If you can get enough attack speed, then... or cast speed, rather, sorry. If you can get enough cast speed, then yeah, that'll work pretty well. You could probably get that down to maybe 5 times a second, 4 to 5 times. I mean, too, if you're attaching another one, deals 50% more damage to branded enemy. Okay, so... okay, I'm guessing the AoE, that's what I was... okay, yeah. So the area damage around it also is the 90 to 290, and it's 50% more on its target. And if you get that one node, you get 2 brands, so you can double your single target that way. Yeah, these are looking pretty nice. I was more interested in Armageddon Brand, but Storm Brand looks pretty cool. Storm Brand Elementalist for that shock. Juicy skills here. Here we go. Next one. Armageddon Brand. We get 20% quality, 10% of cast speed, looks like. Deals 393. Oh yeah, this is the one that said it has a hefty burn, so let's see what that is when we get there. 395 to 590 fire damage. Increases in reduction. Okay, so frequency again, so it'll hit. And this one hits 0.8 seconds while activated, or while attached. It activates. So 25% chance to ignite enemies. Okay, 180% more damage to or with ignite. So same thing as far as the duration is 5 seconds, and can be sitting around for 10 seconds unattached. So if it's going off the base, you deal 180% more damage with ignite, plus the increases. Yeah, it looks pretty juicy. I might take the entire fire damage wheel up at the top above Witch. Obviously the ignite stuff on the side. I wouldn't mind getting a good juicy ignite build going. I was going to try to do Flame Blast, but this looks pretty good. The only thing is then I wonder how it works, because then you don't really care about the activation as much because you just care about the ignite on the enemy. So as far as activating, you don't really have to get that crazy attack or cast speed. Keep saying attack speed. That crazy cast speed to get that too far down, since it's 0.8 instead of 0.5 like with Lightning Brand. So yeah, that could be pretty solid with the amount of increases plus that more. All you'd have to do is add some more flat damage to it, and I think it should suffice. As far as on hit though, if you can get that, then you don't worry about the ignite. That'll just finish everything off. And with 2 on it, I wonder how it would feel to scale both the hit and the ignite all the way with this skill. Something to try. Brand recall, so this is getting it back 20%. Maybe increase cooldown recovery speed. Actually, that one's hard to tell. Maybe it adds to the... Okay, the attachment range should be part of it. Increase cooldown recovery speed might be what it is. 1.5 or 2.5 rather. Maybe it gains it while leveling, and then that's just an extra 10%. But refreshes the detach duration by up to 1.2 seconds, and refreshes their attach duration by up to 1.25 or 1. Where did I get the 2.5? 1.2 seconds. Okay, cool. I wonder if you can put increased duration on there. Maybe up that a bit. I mean, really, this just looks like it would be a, what's the cooldown? Three seconds. Okay, so can you get that less than the... This is an instant cast, so it won't interrupt you moving or anything. So if you can get that less, was 65%. No. Bummer. Unless increased duration can bump it up just enough, then you might be able to get the cooldown time, but you have to get it above 1.5. But that would be cool. You get it to where you could just spam that and keep the 2 brands on your single target. Okay, cool. Shattering Steel. Ooh, 20% increase impel effect. I'm guessing that's the 20%. Otherwise, it could be the... Oh no, surely the... Yeah, the chance is surely on it as a base. So it fires 2 additional projectiles. And this is the one that you throw out. Kind of look like an EK. So this is definitely more the clearing skill, probably. And the other one would be... Unless you add projectiles to the other one, then it's AoE, it looks like. But... Can damage as they travel farther. Oh, projectiles gain damage. Okay. As they travel farther, dealing up to 100% more damage with hits. Okay. So you want to hit things at max range. I was thinking that was kind of low with the 49.1%. Yeah, that... Yeah, you definitely want to do max range, and then... Because they shatter the shattered pieces deal damage in an area in front of the impact location. So I'm guessing it's kind of like a just a cone after they travel so far. I wonder how faster projectiles will work with this. Do they travel the full distance and then pop? Or does the pop travel farther, or is it somewhere halfway in between with projectile speed? But that one's probably just for clear though. I'd be curious to know the lab enchants for a lot of these. Okay. Lancing Steel. So this is the one that's kind of like a barrage that's slightly spread out. And you use a melee weapon. So again, axe and sword. So throw one right in front. 20% chance to impale enemies on hit. Actually, with that saying 20% chance, is that the primary projectile impales enemies on hit? So I guess that's increased impale effect, and this one's actually 20% chance for the other projectiles, and the main one always does. That was my question. If the main one, okay, and because they were talking about the impale mechanic stacking, so that was, I was like, man, this would be absurd because this one could hit probably like 4 times on a target, or 5, with that little range, especially on bosses, big bosses. So 79% of base damage, that's actually pretty nice. And then, so they spread out further in front of you with stuff like GMP, because it adds more to the outside of it. So, interesting. If you can hit one target with enough of those projectiles, though, the single target should be pretty nice. I'm just curious, would it be worth, with the impel mechanic, to try to get as much dual wield potential as possible? If you go crit base, getting two rapiers would be pretty nice. Okay, let's go on to the banners. Now this is what I was really curious about because of some of the things, one of them talking about getting adrenaline, so how long does that last? Okay, so right off the bat there, at the 10% increased effective aura, I'm guessing that's the 20%. You nearby allies gain 59% increased accuracy rating. Ooh, Jug. That sounds legit. Nearby enemies take 11% increased physical damage. Gain 1 stage when you kill an enemy while carrying the banner. Okay, so this again is the one that you gotta kill. Plus 1 second to base placed banner duration per stage. When placed, 8% increased area of effect per stage. When placed, 1% increased aura effect per stage. So if you go through and kill everything and then get to a boss, I mean, my question would be, how is it when you... Now, if you're doing like Uber Elder or something, that's pretty nice. Or thinking of Delve, getting to one of those Delve bosses, you kill so much going to it. Then you go in for like the Abyss boss. You place it and you just have a ton of accuracy. And if it's increased effect, I mean, that could get up to 20%, like with 100 enemies. 22% increased fizz. That's a 22% more multiplier. Juicy. Base duration is 10 seconds, so that's pretty nice actually, because if you get 1 second per stage, I wonder how far it can stack up. This sounds ridiculous. What? Okay. Uh, gain adrenaline for 0.05 seconds per stage on placing the banner. Okay, so let's see. If you kill 100 enemies, so they're expecting you to kill a ton of enemies. So you'd have to kill 400 enemies to equal what the champion has now. For its adrenaline effect. I mean, some maps when you get to the end and you pop that, you'll have that many if you can stack it that high. That is ridiculous. I'm gonna have to look at the video again to see if it seems like you can only gain so many stacks, or if you can just, or if it hits a limit. I don't know if that was shown in the video or not. That's obscene, dude. Like Juggernaut or Champion, even just getting rid of those points, taking the inspiration for the movement speed, or if you don't really need that inspiration for that 35 damage, you just take Fortify as always. Then you'll have to get Tomb Fist for Intimidate or Belt of the Deceiver. Yeah, okay. Couldn't remember the name of it for a second. Okay, cool. That's gross. Dread Banner. Okay, what have we got here? You and nearby allies have 20% chance to impale enemies on hit with attacks. You and nearby allies have 10% increased impale, or 19%. Did I say 10? 19% increased impale effect. So that's the big impale thing. What's this next one? Gain when you impale an enemy while carrying the banner, up to 5 per second. See, that one has a stage limit. This one doesn't. Okay. So if you're using one of the impel skills and you go with this, you get another 20% on top of the other one's 20 and the other one's 40. And you get the 10% increased effective aura. And then let's see, 1 second to base placed banner duration per stage. When placed, 8% increased area, okay. 1% increased aura per stage. Base duration of 10 seconds after being placed. Nearby enemies have 21% less accuracy. That's pretty cool. Gain Fortify for 0.05. Okay, so obviously the impel, especially for supports using this, they impel. So if you're doing the champion support thing, you get 5 per stage. Say you're using Lancing to just impel the target you want because it impels on hit. And then 2% increased Fortify effect per stage. Oh my gosh, like, dude, what? Okay, that's absurd. So okay, let's say you get 100 stages, so 5 seconds of Fortify. Does causing Fortify with Vigilant Strike on a support override that? Or is it like most and it keeps the highest till the highest drops, and then the lowest one, the long lasting Fortify from Vigilant Strike, take over? Hopefully it's that. I'm assuming it's that because that's how most things work. So Nearby enemies have 21% less accuracy. That is huge. And then when you do get hit while this is going on, you've got a fortify effect on you that, let's say you have 100, that's 200% increased fortify effect. What in the world? Like, okay, no big deal. I'm just going to tank the world. You run around. Okay, so I'm thinking this. You go do Uber Lab. You run around, impel, and then once you've got stacks, you've kited, and then you just go hard because 21% less accuracy and no big deal. I got Fortify that has 200% increased effect. Oh my gosh, this is like... And it's gonna last for 10 seconds as far as the buff, the accuracy debuff. Plus you get increased effect of the aura as well for the impel. So 19% increased impel effect. So if you get 1% increased aura effect, so say you can get it to 100, or even 200, or let's just say 100. That's 200% increased fortify. What? Okay. And then you have 100% increased aura effect, which is 38% increased impel effect. That's a lot of damage you're going to be throwing out from the stored damage of the hit. If somebody is using impel as their... Yeah, if somebody's using impel as their main, like lancing steel, as their main skill. And if each impel can stack from other players, then both effects are getting increased. Impel party incoming? What? What is this? I don't even... Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, those are insane. This is broken. What? I don't even, man. 59% accuracy with 100% increased effect. Like 100% increased accuracy, dude. Like, what in the world? I don't even like that. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Sorry. Um, Good thing I'm putting in timestamps. Uh, Multiple totem support. Here we go. What is the less damage? I'm just gonna go to the bottom here. 21% less at level 20. Well, okay, I'm done. Uh, okay, so 20% increased totem placement speed. Yeah, that's nice. Quality of life. Awesome. Plus 2 totems, which is 200% more damage. But hey, and so if you're a Hierophant, you're gaining +1 over what you normally would have had before, and it's just 21% less. Even at a 40% less, that was still a huge gain of damage with this gem. And it goes down to 21% less only? What? That's like hardly anything. Oh my gosh, totems, dude. Do I want to do totems now? So the brands look insane. Hit build with the banners are insane, and totems just look broken. Oh my gosh. And then I wanted the cold stuff looks cool. The comboing 3 skills with Frostbolt, that looks awesome. And the Ice Spear. That sounds absurd too. Like, what am I playing this league even? I've got a ground slam worked out, and I could use a banner with that, no problem, no big deal. But like, what? Oh, that's the other thing. What if you put increased... Oh my gosh, you connect either of these to increased duration. Sorry to go back, but... What? Okay. Yeah. I'm putting timestamps in anyway, so I'm just looking back at this. Dread banner. Increased duration on it. Does that affect the fortify? And does that affect the adrenaline? Dude, if that does, that is broken. AF, yo. I don't even, like, that is just, that is absurd. Oh, I'm, yeah, I'm speechless. Okay. Bonechill Support. So let's see what the percentage mores here are, because everything else has been obscene and obscene. I was trying to say obscene and thinking insane. So yeah, obscene. There we go. That's what I said. I'm sticking with it. Supported skills have 20% increased chill duration on enemies, and chill's a big deal with this. So I'm guessing that's the 20%, because unless somehow you get both chill duration and effective chill with it. Maybe. But supported skills have 44% increased effective chill on enemies. Okay. So, doesn't it cold damage based on the chill effect? Where is it? Okay, let's just read the next. Enemies chilled by support skills take 29% increased cold damage over time. So that's just a 29% more multiplier right there. No big deal. Enemies chilled by your supported skills have cold damage taken increased by chill effect. Oh, okay. So enemies in chilled areas from supported skills take 29% increased cold damage over time. And enemies in chilled areas from supported skills have cold damage taken increased by chill effect. Is that a typo on the first one by chance? Huh. Because that's 29% increased cold damage over time and 29% increased cold damage over time, but that's from the cold area. So either you get 58% increased cold damage over time if you're using Arctic Breath, or Vortex, and then does Cold Snap leave the area, or Ice Nova? Whoop. No, Ice Nova is just a hit. Yeah, that's right. Cold Snap is the one that has the area. So, and then the chill effect is increased by 44%. And so if you get, what was that? If you can get, it's like 20% more damage just outright. So that's, it's like 78% more. Because let's just go here just to make sure. Chill effect. Okay, I probably should have just typed in chill, but chill, there we go. Come on. So chill is based on the cold damage. A chill slow is capped at 30%. Okay, so if you get it, oops. So equal to 30% slow at 10% of the target's maximum life dealt by cold damage. Scaling down to 0. So if you can do 5% of something's life, which for most enemies is going to be pretty easy, and most normal bosses you should be hitting pretty hard. So minimally chilling, so your average hit would be 66,000. Let's see. And if you can get more chill effect, which I can't remember how much is on the tree, but assuming that's not a typo, just from dots and the chill area of effect, because that should apply the chill status. What's the chill ground will be slowed by 10%. So you can probably, if you get 100%, that's 20% more. So that would be 78%. That, for those skills, if you're going after the dot damage, that is obscene. So again, crazy league. Now, assuming that 29% might be a typo up there saying cold damage over time, then you get 29% increased, so 29% more with the skill that hits. So if you're wanting to scale the hit and then whatever chill that it leaves behind. So then what if you did something that leaves chilled ground to cause an even greater chill effect, and then you hit with Ice Spear? Because Ice Spear seems to have an obscene amount of damage. That would be 49% more if you can get it up to 100% increased chill effect, which again, I don't know how much it's on the tree, but here, I'll just look real quick. Okay, so on the tree there is 3 nodes, and that was the thing branching over to the chill effect, I remember now. And then they changed that node. I can't remember what it is exactly. And did you get any chill effect from the occultist? No, it does not look like it. So you don't get any chill effects, so that's fine, but you get the more damage from the occultist. And what I'm seeing on the tree, there's one node for 10%. There's another node just above the Templar for another 10%. And then over on the side, there is 5% and 5%. Okay, yeah, that's right. This is updated already. So, and then the 10% for some reason is not showing up in Fingers of Frost. So you can get 40%. So that's 80 total. So you can almost get it to 20 just on its own. I forget if any items right now off the top of my head give anything for that. But yeah, that's pretty gross. I'm assuming that's a typo. If it's not a typo, then the dot damage is going to be absurd. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, anyway, yeah, that's pretty much my analysis of the gems. So yeah, I'll be uploading this on YouTube soon. If you're watching this on YouTube, thanks for watching. Comment down below and such, all that good stuff, and peace.